Smith & Wesson, a brand known for quality and heritage, made in the US since 1852, and then with the addition of the M&P line, it added something different to the company. So what type of knife can Smith & Wesson make? A fairly horrible knife. This knife is the one that I spoke about in my previous video. There's the one that introduced me to the button lock. So this model is a SWMP8BS. Retails for $44.50, and you can get it from Blade HQ for about $26.95. You would notice that there's a little bit different with this knife because I did take it apart because I was having some issues with it. So this used to have a rubber insert that would go all the way around the knife. So this is not really meant to take apart because those little nubs that hold it in place actually break off as you take it off. So without a replacement, you're left with a knife that looks like this. So the issues that I was having with this knife was with the glass break. This one did have a glass break, and also the seatbelt cutter. So the glass break was actually making contact with the knife itself. So right at the tip of the blade, it was actually making contact with that. So that's the reason why I initially took the knife apart, was to try and resolve that issue. But wasn't able to really do that, because after I did that, put it back together, and then opening and closing the knife, I found that it was making contact with a second portion of the knife, which was actually hitting the back of the knife on the inside. So with that, it was a good addition. I mean, it was something that I learned about. It was something that introduced me to that button lock, but not a great knife. But I did see that they did have a Tanto version that did not have the glass break, did not have the seatbelt cutter, and of all places, eBay had a great deal on them. So somebody was selling two of those for $14. So I picked up one and two. So these knives are also the M&P with a Tanto blade, also serrated. Not my preference, but that's how they come. Button lock, no glass break, no seatbelt cutter, but very chunky knife still. But this knife I figured would have everything I was looking for the Smith & Wesson line, because I went through their catalog to see if there was anything else, and this is the only thing that really caught my eye. But same thing with this one. Now I was having the serrations hit the back of the knife. So some of the M&P line, some of these knives could have been really good if they had spent a little bit more on engineering and maybe a little bit more time on quality control before mass producing them. So this knife is a SWMP7TS, retails for $44, and it is at Blade HQ for $24.95. So I can't complain too much about it. For the price that I got it for, I still do love the action. And it's my first M&P knife. So as I go through this, I'm trying to learn about knives. I'm trying to actually get maybe one of each of the brands so I can understand how they are. But with this, I still really love this knife. So there's the CRKT Tie-Tac 2. Not the Tie-Tac 2 Tanto, as people like to say, but this is the other model. So as I go through and hopefully learn more about knives, kind of play around with this video setup, play around with how I actually review knives or talk about knives, because that's really the main point of the whole thing, the conversation, because I don't really have people to talk about with knives. So this is kind of the outlet for that. Talk about knives, hopefully get some feedback, learn from folks, and kind of make it my new hobby. So hopefully you enjoy the information, and thanks for the time.